Lights now.
Just the normal stuff. All right. So, I'm going to just mute you all right now, but that does not mean that you cannot ask me a question. It's just by doing that when we sit in the beginning, then we don't get any sort of background noise, except for here in my office background noise, like Diego or something. And all right. So, yay, we get to practice together. How wonderful. And we've been working, again, I want to keep working with this area a little bit. And so let's just do a quick review for maybe some of you that haven't been to class in a while of the territory that we're looking at, that we're putting our awareness into. And so if you go ahead and just for a start, you could go right to the top of the breastbone, into that little soft spot right there, the sternal notch. And then you can drop back onto the top of the breastbone, which is the manubrium, and then start to walk out on one of your collarbones. So you find, okay, there's your collarbone. And then can you follow the very top of it and notice the shape of it? Notice how it comes across. And then it like in the beginning, it does this little S curve, especially if I go to my one that's not been broken. But you'll feel as you walk across, you'll feel how it has a little curve in it. And then you keep walking out, you walk all the way, keep going, all the way out and get to the top of it. Make sure you're above it, so that you can be on the soft side of it. And you're pressing into that softer tissue all the way, keep going all the way to the corner. Because as it gets to the corner, up here at the top, it gets really small, that space. And also it becomes a lot more density right in there. So pressing into there, you'll go, really, Lynn? That's soft. Yes, that is not bone right in there. And you have, we all have a different shape. So I know yesterday when I was working with someone, we were finding that place on her and we realized, it was pretty far back because of the shape of her collarbone. Then you're above the collarbone, you come all the way over, and then you start to walk just a little tiny bit back. And you'll feel the spine of the scapula. You'll fall onto that and start walking along it back towards the center of your back. So Diane was just saying she's having some problems with her upper trapezius. And we're just walking along that upper trapezius right now, part of it anyway. And we walk along and we find a place where there's no bone until we reach the spine itself. Okay, and so we were saying from the top of the breastbone, from the top of the collarbones, all the way out to the corners, and we go back then, and we find the back that goes all the way along those spines of the scapula towards the spine itself. And we're below C7, below the big pokey out bone. We come T1, T2. So in the past, when we worked on this at the studio before in person, we would often say that this was like the whites of the eye, if we were like a bird's eye view, that this was the front and this was the back, okay? And the corners, we've been talking about those. And part of what I want to encourage you is that in some instances, you're going to want to really soften. This is not, you have to really work to soften and let go. And in other instances, the release you're looking for is going to be above the collarbones up. So we defined a midpoint from the side of the neck, from the side of the throat, all the way out to the tops of the shoulders. And that helped us to define the front from the back. So we'll start with that. We'll add a piece about where is the heart center as well. So let's go ahead, taking a comfortable seat. You're welcome to rest your hands in your lap, to close your eyes. To relax through the sleeve of the body, to relax through this all the skin of your body. And there's a superficial layer of fascia under the skin. So we're trying to let go of any holding of this whole sleeve. And then the support for sitting right now comes from deep inside of us, at the front of the spine, all the way up. So it's not from tensing the shoulders or adding any tension in the body. There's just a tone that's in the deep part in front of our spine that gives us the ability to sit upright. And this lift that comes from pelvic floor all the way up the front of the spine, the throat, the roof of the mouth. It's actually the tongue is part of this deep front line. And then you can begin to find your ujjayi. And if you can imagine the ujjayi coming in through that sternal notch, can you imagine that the ujjayi inhale is entering above the breastbone at that notch? And also the exhale. Can you imagine your exhale also coming out in that same place? And as you practice your ujjayi, and you are just working with the richness of the ujjayi breath, that rich sound. And the smoothness of both the inhale and the exhale. At the bottom of your next exhale, release any control on your breath. Release the ujjayi. And honoring your presence, bring your hands into Anjali Mudra. And to open our practice this morning, we'll chant the sound of Om, and we'll sing Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Take a deep inhale. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. With your exhale, bow your head towards your heart. Release your hands and lift your gaze. So, can you reach your strap? Can you take your strap or belt or scarf and can you bring it around your body and snug it up on the upper back? Bring it underneath your arms and forward as if it would come. You can just hold it on the sides, or some of you might like to wrap it forward. Because you're going from the mid, you feel the strap at the upper back, the mid upper back, and also the strap is coming around to the mid sternum. Mid upper back and mid sternum. So holding my strap, I want to place my awareness into the energetic heart center, the midpoint between where I feel the strap at the back of my rib cage, and also if I have the strap all the way forward, that midpoint. And then I want to see if I can drop my awareness into where is that energetic heart center between mid sternum and mid upper back. So it's not touching the underside of the sternum, and it's not touching at the spine in the back. But where is that place in between? And then holding my strap for a moment, and I have a pretty good seat here, so my spine is vertical to begin. And then I want to place my felt sense at that heart center. And for this moment, I'm going to lift the space from the heart center all the way up to the top of my collarbones. And when I do, I find myself going into a slight back bend. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and release. I'm going to let go of that, and I'm going to take my strap away. And so we're going to come into plank pose, and I want you in your plank pose to be balancing the heart center. Again, from the rib cage, from front to back, where's the heart center? And you're going to balance that. The other piece then I want to offer you is that for some of you, because we're doing some strengthening stuff on Fridays. So let me show you. For some of you, You'll come into your plank. And you're balancing that front to back heart center. We'll be here for a little bit. And then we'll lightly touch the knees down, curling pubic bone towards the lower ribs. And then we're going to go back to plank. And for some of us, so we're going to do that a few times. When I curl my knees down, so I'm not letting my heart center fall, right? Do you see here how the heart is falling? I'm balancing it front to back. And again, we'll do a few of these curls. Pubic bone, knees lightly touch. And then for some of us, we're going to be in plank, and we're going to add a little more movement. We're going to do some of the mountain climbers. So some of us will be here. And for some of you, that will be too much, right? So when we go to that point, some of the rest of you might go onto your back and go back to that place we've been working. Because it's Friday, I'd like to do some strengthening where we're gonna, you all remember, right? Where you come in, you start doing some toe taps. All right, so you're gonna do some toe taps. Well, some of us are doing some mountain climbers, okay? So, can we go ahead and if you're okay with weight on the hands, go ahead and inhale and exhale and come to plank. You're gonna be like, plank, Lynn, already? Mm-hmm. So when you come into your plank pose, drop back into your breathing. Remember the strength at the inner thigh. And so Linda, you'll lower the pelvis just a little bit. Pelvis goes a little lower. If you wanted to, at least your pelvis would go lower as well. Better, yep. Sandra, that looks excellent. And even on all fours, Diane, where's the base of the skull? Where's the head? You don't have to look it up, but just where is it? All of us, where is the heart center? Good. And then with the next exhale, can you slowly curl the knees down and lightly touch them to the ground? Inhale there. Exhale back to plank. So I want to balance heart center front to back. And also, where's the base of my skull? Your next exhale, knees curl toward the wrists. They lightly touch the knees to the ground. We take an inhale on all fours. And we're going to exhale one more time to plank. Nice, beautiful. That's it. Doing great. I know. It's a big demand. Yeah. And Al, just lift the inner thighs a little more. Tone the inner thighs. Lift your inner thighs. Keep going, Al. Keep going. Really. Yeah, like that. And that's it. Excellent. Excellent. And then all of us, if we're in plank, we're going to bring the knees down. And we're going to just stretch back to child's pose. And if you're on the floor, if you're doing toe taps, you could rest. You could bring the feet to the ground and simply rest. If we're in child's pose, we're going to inhale up to cat and exhale to cow pose for a moment, lifting from right above those collarbones. Exhale one more time. Can you go back to child's pose? Cat to child's pose. And then keep the cat shape as you inhale up And once the shoulders come forward, bring it to cow pose. Okay, we're going to do 2 more of those. So you're going to go to cat, to child's pose. You inhale, you come up, you keep that cat shape until the shoulders come, and then right above the collarbones, release up towards the throat. There you go. And one more time, one more round. Back, cat to child's pose. Sorry, I missed this in showing the demo. And then the inhale, there's cat and there's cow. The emphasis on that space above the collarbones towards the throat. And then if you're going back to plank, please do. If you're going onto your back, go ahead. So you choose what your body is wanting right now. And if you're in plank, you balance the weight between the heart center front to back. Take a deep inhale. And then when you're ready, you can either, you can have hands on blocks too if you need that. But you're going to go start doing a few of those little mountain climbers. So you go knees to elbows, knees to elbows. The breath is still moving. I'm not holding my breath. Now I'm back to plank. Inhaling in plank. Exhaling, I'm bringing my knees lightly down. Child's pose. Those of you on your back, you can go ahead and, rest. Those of us in child's pose, we're going up, back up to cat, and to cow. Now, if it was hard for you to get your knees up, you could elevate your hands on blocks, okay? And we're gonna do one more round of mountain climbers. And when you do them this time, if you wanted, you can either do the same or you might cross over knee to opposite elbow with a little more speed. So when you're ready, you can join me. And those of you on your back, you're doing a practice. And then I'm in plank, knees down, and child's pose. And those of you on your back, you're resting as well. And those of you laying on your back, go ahead, inhale, lift the arms to the ceiling. And exhale, take the arms overhead. Those of you on your back, notice when you take the arms overhead, can you release above the collarbones? Let it roll back. Let the back of that imaginary eye white soften. And then release the arms up and back down. And then we're all going to, we're going to take either downward facing dog or puppy, or if you have another option, that's fine. When we go to it, can we have some support if you have a slant board, you could use that. Otherwise, you might take a blanket or 2. Those will go underneath your heels. And so I'm going to come into downward facing dog. Downward dog, puppy, or whatever other option you want to. And in my downward dog or puppy, can you remember where those corners were between the collarbones and the spine of the scapulus? And can you reach that all the way to the hands? And what happens? When you reach all the way towards your hands, what happens? Where does the rib cage go? Can you feel the rib cage reaching toward your pelvis? And if you're in downward dog, can you inhale all the way to plank? If you're in puppy, you could just come to all fours. Balancing the heart space again, front to back. And one more time, we're going back, steady to downward facing dog. Those of you on all fours, you can walk, you could do bird dog, right arm forward, left leg back. In downward dog, people, you're going to inhale forward to plank, steady again. Bird dog people, switch sides. Downward dog, and plank people, back to downward facing dog. We'll inhale there, exhale. Downward dog people, we're bringing the knees to the ground. And all of us are on all fours. Let's get our blocks. And let's also have a blanket or two. Let's take a blanket to pad the knees. So we can have the knees cushioned. We've got our blocks, and let's step left foot forward. Let's tuck the back toes under and come up into a low lunge. So there's a low lunge. And then with the next exhale, let's bring back knee comes to the blanket. Left knee is going forward of the left ankle. And then the next exhale, back to the low lunge. Lifting back up into my low lunge. The next exhale, I'm going to bring the knee down on the back. The left knee is going forward of the ankle. And the exhale, back up again. I can be using my Ujjayi. Inhale, I can come down. Left knee forward, right knee to the blanket. Exhale, Ujjayi, back up. And then the next time you come down, where the knee touches the blanket, let's pull the blocks back. So as you soften, as you are releasing through the front of the middle of the right thigh and the lower right thigh, I've got my hands on my blocks. I pulled my blocks back so they were more under my closer to my blanket. They're all the way there. And now, can you remember where's the heart center? Where's that energetic heart center? And can you release the space from the front of the heart toward the top of the collarbones? You might feel there's a little back bend there. And can we take the right arm now and lift it all the way up? And as we go, can you let the front above the collarbone, let that roll all the way up and back so that that whole space where the upper trap is relaxes and the front rolls up. And then we're going to exhale, release. And we'll take left knee back and right foot forward. I'll slide my blocks back forward to frame my front foot. I'm going to tuck my back toes. And I'm going to inhale into a low lunge. My right knee is just slightly behind my right ankle when I'm in the low lunge. The exhale this time, I'm going to let the back knee come down, the right knee forward. Inhale back up. And exhale, repeat. And can I be smooth? Can I work on the smooth quality? Can I stay connected to my breathing as I'm working on how things are gliding in this smooth transition from low lunge with the back knee lifted to the low lunge with the back knee down? How smooth can I make this? You might even, Sandra, let's go taller on your blocks. See if that helps your transitions. That looks great, Anne. I love the length in the body, that whole line of the back body. Yeah. Good, great. It's beautiful just to witness you even in this space. Transitioning back and forth. And the next exhale as you come down. Oh, I know what's going on. We're going to do one more up into the low lunge. So, and I shouldn't have to, have this target. Oh, my knee needs to go all that way forward. If my blanket's too close to my front foot, then I might have been pulling it forward as I drop it. So with the next exhale, just lower, you bend the front knee goes forward, the back knee comes down, and there's that transition. And then pull the blocks back so that they'll be closer to being under the hands. Pull them back towards your blanket. Remember, the forward knee is forward of the right ankle. Otherwise, it stops you when you are trying to descend. Okay? So now you've pulled the blocks back. You're releasing more deeply now between the middle of the left thigh towards the knee on the back leg. And then I'm gonna, can we place the felt sense at the heart? Where is the front of that heart space? Remember, it's gonna be a diagonal release up towards. We'll roll it all the way up. And then I'm going to take left arm and reach it up. And now I notice too that above the collarbone, all the way towards that corner on the left, I want that to roll back, to let it roll back. And then we'll press down. And we come back and we're going to step forward into Uttanasana. So we'll move the blocks forward. Exhale, bow forward. Releasing forward. With your next inhale, come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow. Your inhale halfway again. Lifting above the collarbones. The exhale, releasing from the throat center all the way towards those collarbones and towards the heart. One more time. And then the next inhale, let's come all the way up to standing. Arms up overhead. And exhale, bring the hands back down in front of the heart. And we'll release the arms. And we'll move our blanket out of the way. And then let's step the feet apart and let's turn the toes out a little bit. So we're going to go towards goddess. We'll have, we'll try this. Okay. So let's inhale the arms halfway out and exhale, bend both knees. So the knees are pointing toward the toes. And then we're going to bring hands to the thighs. I like to have my palms on the insides, and we're going to lean into our thighs. So my shoulders are actually relaxed, and I'm releasing them up towards my ears. We're going to take a little twist. So if you're turning towards your right, you're going to take the left hand, keep it pressed into the top of the left thigh, and right above the right collarbone, just begin to lengthen up as you turn. Exhale back to center. Inhale in the middle. And then exhale, right hand pushes into the right leg, and I'm lifting right above my inner left collarbone as I turn. Exhale back to center. Inhale, straighten the legs. And then exhale, we can step the feet together. Inhale, take the arms straight ahead. Clasp your fingers. Draw the palms towards you. Press them away. And now you're going to inhale. You're going to lift the arms so that front, right, the corners, let them roll back and under that space at the back, like it rolls under the upper trap. And the upper trap area, right at the base of the neck, can that relax back and down, kind of like a waterfall, going down the back towards the kidneys? And then we'll exhale, we'll take the arms out wide. All right, let's set up triangle pose. Step the feet apart, we'll go to the right. So I'll be a mirror for you. Any questions that you might have? All right, here we go. We'll inhale the arms out. And exhale to triangle. So on the down arm side, from the base of C7, the spine of the scapula on the down arm, can you reach into your hand? And on the lifted side, can you lift from the heart to the left collarbone? Roll that all the way up towards the throat. And then we'll inhale and come up. And exhale, release both arms. Second side. Spinning the left foot out. The right foot in a bit. I have my blocks or whatever I need. Okay, and then we're going to inhale the arms out. And exhale to triangle, second side. Let's go a little wider, Linda. Let's take a little wider stance. So both legs are straight. And from the support on the down hand, as it reaches into the block, so from the base of the neck, from C7, T1, T2, can you reach along the spine of the scapula to the left hand, all the way into that block? So you can feel what happens when you reach down. Yeah, do you feel yourself turn more when you reach down into, yeah, isn't that great? Props are awesome. And then from the heart all the way, can you lengthen all the way up towards the top of the right collarbone? And then from the top of the right collarbone, release and roll that all the way up towards the throat. So you might land, if you have a block under your left hand, you're going to find a little more stability and ability to reach better, and you'll get more openness. That's it. There you go. Great, everyone. Good. And then we'll inhale, come up. And exhale, release. Great. Step the feet back together. All right. Let me see. Let's take an Uttanasana. And if you have a wall handy, you're welcome to use that as well. If you want to lean against the wall for this Uttanasana, or if not, you can just do it in the middle of the room. But you're going to bow forward. So you can have either, if you're not using a wall, you can use blocks. If you've got the wall, you can just cross the forearms. And in this instance, in Uttanasana, can you release from the back of that heart space all the way towards that space that's bordered kind of close to C7? And then if you're against the wall, you can take the hands right by the hips and push yourself away from the wall. And then all of us are going to come all the way up and reach the arms overhead. And the hands back in from the heart. And releasing the arms. All right, let's go back to our mat. Let's bring our blocks and let's take a sun salutation. To start, can we pick up the strap for a moment? To remember, let's take the strap to go underneath the armpits and take it all the way around so you get the feedback. And then from where is the heart? Where is it? Where is that heart center midway between sternum and where you feel that strap at the back? And then from the heart center, can you release the space on a diagonal up towards the collarbones, those inner midline collarbones. When you do, you feel yourself start to take a bit of a back bend. And then you keep going. You release from right above the collarbones towards the throat. And from the back, from C7, reach back towards the heart. And then we'll come back upright. We'll release our strap. We'll sit it down. Bring our hands in front of the heart. And let's inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up. So in that halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, lifting heart center towards the collarbones, above the collarbones, towards the throat. Your next exhale, downward facing dog or a puppy. Or if you're not doing either of those, you could just go ahead and step to a lunge. On back in downward facing dog. Strongly reaching from those corners where the collarbone meets the spine of the scapula towards my hands. And with the next inhale, let's lift the right leg up. Exhale, right foot forward. Inhale, upright. So I could keep my hands out at a 45-degree angle to begin, and lifting from heart center towards the top of the breastbone, above the collarbones, towards the throat. And then we're going to exhale, bow forward to plank. And then with the next exhale, we can lightly touch the knees down, come forward, bring the chest down. Draw the hands back so palms are on the ground. So I can relax the shoulders, the front of the shoulders down. And then when you're ready, start to lift from the heart center towards the top of the breastbone. And then from above the collarbones, can you roll towards the throat? Exhale, lower. Inhale, all fours. Exhale, plank and downward facing dog. So in downward dog, as you strongly reach from those corners all the way to the hands, and take the throat center back towards the rib cage. Let's inhale, lift the left leg, steady in the arms. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, rising. Again, I can keep the arms out wide from the heart center, rolling up towards the base of the sternum. All the way. And then what about the space above the collarbones? And then with the next exhale, let's come forward. Inhale, let's step forward. And exhale, fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. One more time. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, downward dog. Or if you're foregoing downward dog, you could just step back to a lunge. The rest of us, we're going to inhale and lift the left leg this time. And exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, upright. This time, if you like, inhale, lift the arms, and you roll from the heart center all the way up towards the breastbone and reach the corners toward the fingers. And then we'll inhale the arms out, exhale to plank. Inhale in plank. Exhale, we can bring knees down, chest down. And this time, can we take the arms straight back, palms facing towards the midline? I don't have to have my hands close to my body. I can have them wider. And we'll start, we won't lift the head to begin. The head will come, but you don't need to start with it. But you're gonna go ahead and lift from heart center towards the top of the breastbone. And then from the collarbones up, there comes the head a little bit. Maybe the legs. Exhale, release. Bring the hands forward to make a little stack under the forehead for breathing. You can place the forehead or the chin. And then let's bring the hands back in position for Cobra. So once again, from the heart, where is the heart center? And can you reach and release on a diagonal toward the space right at the breastbone? And then can you roll from the above the collarbones towards the throat? Exhale, release. Inhale, all fours. And exhale, either downward facing dog or puppy or all fours. Inhale if you're in downward dog, right leg. Exhale, right foot forward. Inhale, upright. You can either leave the arms back or maybe you'll reach them forward and up. Heart center, top of the breastbone, rolling above those collarbones. And then we'll inhale the arms out. Exhaling, we're bowing forward. Inhale, stepping forward. And exhale, folding. Inhaling halfway. And this time as we exhale, we're going to take child's pose. Resting back for a moment. And then walking the hands back to come up to sitting on the knees if that's okay. And if this is uncomfortable, no need to sit like this. So one of the places I want to go right now is towards a version of bow pose. So for some of you, you might want to put a blanket on the ground. You don't have to, but this is just for part of my torso. If you have a bolster, you're going to take your bolster and place it forward. So let me show you the version here. So I've got my bolster up there. And when I lie over this, I'm going to lie over it so that the bolster is supporting at the bottom of my lower rib cage. So I've got the bolster there. I'll just demonstrate for a second, and then I'll give you some other ideas. And then I'm gonna reach back and grab onto my ankles, or I could use a strap. You see I have the head still down. And now I'm gonna go from heart center above the collarbones. For both ones. Okay, so if I make sure to get, I felt like I could have been a little higher on my bolster, so it's under the lower front ribs. If I don't have a bolster, then I'm gonna have to use my blankets. And I tried using my blocks this morning. It felt a little like firm. So if I don't have a bolster, I'm gonna take 2 or 3 blankets folded in half lengthwise to try to simulate some height like that. And then when you come over, lower rib cage on the blankets or the bolster. I've either got a strap to lasso my feet, or I'm going to reach back and grab my ankles. This is working pretty good, actually. So you're lifting from heart center up to the bottom of the shoulder blades. And there you go. Just making sure the bolster or the blankets should be helping you lift. It's really in a place that gives you lift. So I either have 3 blankets. There you go. Yep. Beautiful. Rolling up. There you go, Ingrid. Good. And then release. Press up and back to child's pose. Yeah, Sherry, let's see. For the spondylolisthesis, if you've got that vertebrae that's forward, it's probably, contraindicated really in the bow pose right now. Yeah, since we don't want to reinforce that vertebrae sliding forward. Yeah, I'll think about it some more. Yeah. Okay, and then let's take a twist. So we'll take, we can take Marichyasana 3. So we might sit on one blanket or on the ground. If I take right leg straight and bend the left knee, so my left foot is on the ground. Left hand behind. And I'm twisting towards, it'd be towards your left. So now on the heart center, as you're turning towards your left, can you imagine a lift that comes from the heart all the way over to where that was that little S curve in your collarbone? So that's really kind of out like at a 45 as you twist. From the heart center, you're twisting towards the bent knee, and you're lifting up towards that space where that little S curve was and is in your collarbone. And then we'll release that. Let's switch sides. Right hand behind. And with this Marichyasana, I only need to either hold my my bent knee with my other hand. I don't need to go all the way to the outer elbow for this. But I can place my felt sense. Where is that space that I was calling the heart center? Where is it? And can you release up towards the collarbone, second rib area, right? Release where it crosses under the collarbone. And then we'll come back to center. And we've got both legs straight now out in front of you. Yeah, we'll just take a moment. Let's take the hands back with the fingers pointing forward. Let's take a moment, Dandasana. Heart center towards the breastbone. Rolling up. And then we'll release. So I'd like to have either a version of shoulder stand. So we can do either a reclined shoulder stand version or a version with a chair if you want to a little more height. If you're doing the reclined version, you're going to take a blanket, fold it in half lengthwise. Another blanket, fold it in half lengthwise. You put those two blankets end to end. If you have 4 blankets, I would do the same thing. I would go make this a little taller. Otherwise, for the reclined version of shoulder stand, you're going to lie on those blankets. You've got a block, and this block is going to go underneath this blanket to bring the head in a little bit of Jalandhara Bandha. So this is the reclined version of shoulder stand. If I'm going to take a version with my chair, and I'm going to have my blankets folded in half lengthwise, I could also use a bolster if I'd rather. There's 2 blankets, or maybe 3. If I'm going to use my chair, I'm going to put it on my mat here. And I like to pad my chair. All right, if you're doing this version, when you sit in the chair, the legs dangle over the back. My pelvis is pretty forward in the chair so that when I go backwards, my chair is not going to go with me. Then I walk my hands down and I bring my shoulders to the blanket. I can reach through the chair. C7 is on the blanket. So there's that version of shoulder stand. So where's the heart center? In shoulder stand, we want the heart center to be balanced between front and back. We don't want to shove it all the way forward. And in shoulder stand, you're broad across the upper back. Let the upper back be broad. You might, Ingrid, I wonder if you could get on the inside of those legs. Maybe not, huh? I was trying to figure out, I mean, the chair legs, the arms. Where can they hold? That's where I was just trying to figure. You probably got the best spot, I guess. Yeah. But you could bend the knees. You could take the legs up to vertical. All right. And then to come down, if you're using a chair, the feet can go to the back of the chair, the seat of the chair, and then you lift the back of the head and bring the pelvis down to the blanket that was under the shoulders. And then all of us will bend the knees and roll over to one side and use the arms to come back up. And we can move our chair out of the way if we had one. And we're gonna set up for Shavasana. So we'll take one blanket, fold it in half lengthwise. You could use on your mat. You could take another blanket to go under the back of the head, or maybe you need two. I don't know. Remember, you're not sitting on that blanket, you're sitting in front of it. And when you come back, I like having the forehead I like it a little higher than the chin. So give yourself enough support under the head that the forehead is higher than the chin. And if lying in this position is uncomfortable for you, you're welcome to take a different shape. And then allowing your breath to awaken. And just make a comfortable, mindful transition back up to sitting. And once you are back in sitting, can you close the eyes and drop your attention into the movement of the breath at the back of the nostrils? And then drop your awareness to the space of your third eye, which is deep in the skull, several inches. It's between the eyebrows, but in the skull itself. And then let the awareness rise to just above the crown of the skull. And joining your hands together in front of your heart. Stay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your patience, your efforts.